Hi, reader. Today we're going to read this nonfiction passage about bats by Amy Lemons and Katie King. After you read Stella Luna, you may want to know more about what real bats are like. So let's take a look at this passage. The table of contents is going to tell us what it's about. On page 1, what are bats? On page 2, different types of bats. On page 3, the bat life cycle. On page 4, yummy. On page 5, where they live. On page 6, echolocation. Page 7, fun facts. And on page 8, the glossary. Now, I want to go before I start reading to the glossary. Remember, it's like a mini dictionary at the end of a book or a story. And it's going to tell me some words that I might not be familiar with. So I want to read those first so that I'll understand the story better when I read. So the first word is colonies. Colonies are a group of bats that live together, usually about 100 to 1,000 bats. Endangered, an animal that is at risk of dying out. That means endangered. A myth is a story that many people believe. A myth may not be true, even though many people believe it. Roost is the home of a group of bats. So birds live in a nest, but bats live in a roost. Species are different kinds of an animal, and vision is how something sees. So let's get reading and find out some more about bats. What are bats? Did you know that bats are the only mammals that truly fly? Many people mistake bats for birds, but they're not birds. They're warm-blooded. They have live babies and even have a little fur like you and me. There are over 1,000 different species of bats around the world. Some are as small as the tip of your finger, and some have a wingspan as wide as a human is tall. Different types of bats. So we have the free-tailed bat, the leaf-nosed bat, the bumblebee bat. He's the one that's the size of your fingertip. The spotted bat, the gray-headed flying fox, the black flying fox, and the little red-nosed flying fox. So 3 similar named bats, but they're different. The speckled flying bat and the spear-nosed bat. And remember, how many different species of bats were there? More than 1,000? Whoa. The bat life cycle. A mother bat gives birth to a single baby bat at a time. The baby bat is known as a pup. The pup will drink the mother's milk for about 6 weeks. Within 2 months, he or she will begin to fly and find food. A bat's considered an adult when they're around 1 year old. Some bats can live to be about 10 years old. So we have a grown-up bat, and here the grown-up has one baby. They have one baby at a time called a pup. That's right. Then in 2 months, when they're 2 months old, they fly and find food. And they're an adult when they're around 1 year old, but they can live to be 10 years old. And so that's their life cycle. Page 4, yummy. The thousands of species of bats eat all types of food. One group of bats mostly eats small flying bugs like mosquitoes, moths, and others. The other group eats ripe fruit. There are other bats that eat different food, such as frogs, fish, scorpions, and plant nectar. Look at this bat hanging upside down eating some fruit. I love that picture. Page 5, where they live. Bats can be found on every continent in the world except for Antarctica. They do not like areas that are too hot or too cold. A bat's home is called a roost. They can make almost any dark place their home, such as a cave, a tree, under a bridge, and an attic. Bats live together in groups called colonies, which contain 100 to 1,000 bats. Page 6, Echolocation. Bats are nocturnal. This means they're active at night. Bats also have a special sense called echolocation. When bats are hunting at night, they send out high-pitched sounds and wait to see how long it takes for the sound to bounce off their prey. This skill is so special that bats can tell which objects are food and which objects they need to avoid when they're flying. Humans cannot hear their high-pitched noises. Page 7, Fun Facts. Contrary to myth, bats are not blind at all. They have excellent vision. Many bat species in the United States are endangered. That means one particular species might die out and there would never be that kind of bat again. Some bats migrate south for the winter. So they live in one place and then they move south when it gets cold. The largest bat colony in the world lives in a cave in Texas and has about 20 million bats. Whoa! I would love to see them fly out of that cave just as the sun is setting. Whoa, baby. I hope you enjoyed this book, reader, and I hope that you know some facts about bats.